Hello, my name is Stefano Pisani, and today I'll be talking about the negative impact that the tobacco industry has on social media. This is my keyword outline as well as my note cards. So, my first question is, why do you think that children under the age of 18 start smoking? Well, children are very impressionable, and the tobacco industry is 100% well aware of this. They use cunning and clever advertisements in order to promote their product as awesome to their young viewers. Though there is a ban on advertisements on television, there isn't necessarily a ban on advertisements via social media. So this is the loophole that they use in order to promote their products out to young viewers. So there are problems every day in society, and the tobacco industry is no exception to this. So we need to come up with a solution in order to keep the tobacco industry from causing more problems. So what we need to do is come up with a better censorship policy in order to keep the tobacco industry from using this clever loophole of promoting their products on social media. So the tobacco industry manipulates young children into using their products through subliminal messages on social media platforms. They do this by basically using social media influencers as their outlet into young viewers. So, in the 2019 article by Matthew Myers, he states that the Instagram and Facebook policies are ineffective and inadequate at keeping tobacco use from our young viewers. What this means is that we have a censorship policy, but it isn't necessarily doing its job of censoring posts that have tobacco use in them or the tobacco industry in it as well. So, with another note, the anti-smoking activists named Stand say that 3,200 children under the age of 18 start smoking, and by the age of 26, they're full-time smokers. And this is the reason why we need more censorship on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and the ever so trending TikTok, because these social media platforms are the outlet that the tobacco industry is using to promote their products to young viewers. So car crashes and airplane crashes are 100% unpredictable and are not necessarily avoidable. But smoking is 100% avoidable. If you don't pick up the first cigarette and light it, then you're avoiding the predictable deathly illnesses that come with smoking. This is what we need to strive for our younger generation. So, what I propose is that we have a stronger censorship policy with better age restrictions to help keep and push the tobacco industry out of younger viewers' minds. So, what we need to do is, like I said, implement this better censorship policy. And according to the 2019 article by Melvin Oglethorpe, she says that our children are currently being, unsupervised while they're online. And this is an indication that the system isn't working. So what she's trying to say is basically we need to implement a better policy in order to prevent this from happening. So in order to make the system work, we need to have a stronger policy and better age restrictions and better supervision. Like I said before, the tobacco industry uses big-time influencers to promote their product. Big-time influencers like the Hype House members, which one of them includes Charli D'Amelio, who is very popular on almost every social media app. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Our younger viewers, look up to them. They have millions of followers, all of which are probably under the age of 18. They look up to these influencers and want to mimic what they are doing. So whatever the top tier influencers are doing, us who are not social media influencers want to follow and do the same thing as them. So that's what all our society is about, trends. And if smoking is a part of that trend, then the younger audience will go ahead and start smoking, which is what we want to avoid with this new censorship policy. How do we implement this censorship policy? Or better yet, who has the governing power to implement this censorship policy? That would be up to the CEOs, or better yet, the owners of these said social media platforms. One of which is Mark Zuckerberg, who is the CEO of Facebook, who in turn they own Instagram. Second would be Jack Dorsey, who is the CEO of Twitter. Both of them can better update their apps to, have stronger censorship policies and better age restrictions so that they can keep, these types of posts that include tobacco use or tobacco industry in them. So that we, the citizens, do not have to rely on government, intervention to fix these issues in our society. The way we can, kind of get an idea of how this policy works is through YouTube. So YouTube has, a new policy or community guidelines in which any video that isn't kid friendly or violates their guidelines is demonetized. What that means is that they don't get paid for any videos that are violating their censorship rules or that aren't kid friendly. We can then, move this and transfer it over to, social media. With social media, we implement a policy in which if a post contains tobacco use or the tobacco industry or any indication of smoking, it either gets removed or limited. And that brings me to this next article. So this next 2015 article by Connect Us, they say that, if something is dangerous or harmful to people, it should be censored or limited, which is exactly the case that we need to be doing with the tobacco industry's influence on social media. We need to be censoring what is dangerous and harmful to the younger generation, mainly those who are under the age of 18. So, picture yourself in a future in which the tobacco industry doesn't exist. Tobacco use vanishes. This is what we need to strive for. There is an anti-smoking activist group known as ASH who produced a video called Vanish. In this said video, one parts of the video they say, what if our friends and family didn't disappear and tobacco use vanished instead? This is the kind of future we need to strive for. We need to make this future a reality in which in the future the tobacco industry doesn't exist. Tobacco use vanishes. And we can do this by, in the present, implementing this censorship policy. On another note, in this same video named Vanish by the anti-smoking activists ASH, they say that every 6 seconds a future disappears. But if we implement this new policy, we can turn the tables and instead, every 6 seconds, a new future is born. What this means is if the tobacco industry doesn't have any way to use, social media or any other way to promote their product, then every 6 seconds, a new future is born. We don't have to worry about our children not having a bright future, or we don't have to worry about, the tobacco industry being around to darken our children's future. So, we need to strive to make, the future a reality. Leave the tobacco industry in the past and their problems in the past. In the present, which is now, we need to make the censorship policy a thing. Because, according to the same article named Stand, they say that by 2030, we'll have projected 8 million deaths. Now, is this the reality we want for our future? No. We want every 6 seconds a new future is born, just like the video Vanish depicts. So, we need to keep the tobacco industry in the past. And then we need to move forward by coming up with the solution of the new censorship policy, a stronger policy, one that has better age restrictions and keeps the tobacco industry out of social media so that we can make the future a reality, so that we can walk together and be together all in this world without having the tobacco industry as a problem. Thank you.